Previously, we examined a brief biography of Ayesha, the wife of the Prophet ﷺ. And why is it that we, the followers of Ahlul Bayt, are critical of her role, especially after the Prophet ﷺ? And why is it that we do not see her as a religious authority to take our religious teachings from? So we've examined that academically and objectively. One final discussion before we move on is a quick analysis of the story of the Ifk, the accusation that was made against Ayesha. We briefly talked about it when we spoke about Maria, the Coptic, the wife of the Prophet. But now we will present an overview of the story of the Ifk. There is a verse in Surah An-Nur about the story of the Ifk, that a group of people, they brought forth this accusation against one of the wives of the Prophet that she committed, indecency. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala vindicated her. The Quran is not clear, who was accused, but it says an accusation was made. Now, what's the mainstream story in Sunni sources? So basically, during one of the expeditions of the Prophet, on the way back to Medina, the caravan of the Prophet stops to rest. Then when they resumed the trip, they did not realize that Ayesha stayed behind. Ayesha was basically looking for something. So she stayed behind, and then later some companions came to get her. And so the Prophet arrives Medina without Ayesha. So those companions brought her. Some hypocrites accused Ayesha of committing indecency with these companions. Bukhari's version narrates the first person from her. She's speaking the story. She said, I stayed behind because my necklace got lost. So I went back looking for it. Now, when I went back looking for it, the caravan left me. They didn't realize that I wasn't with them. So long story, she finds it. Some companions help her. They go back to Medina. She says for a month after the accusation, the Prophet was dry with her. Who's saying this? Ayesha. In which source? Bukhari. She says the Prophet was super dry with me. She goes to her parents. The Prophet consults Imam Ali and Osama, the son of Zayd, Osama ibn Zayd. She says the Prophet consults them, should he divorce me or not? So the Prophet considered the idea of divorcing Ayesha because of the accusation. Zayd said she's good and she's innocent. Imam Ali alayhi salam, according to Ayesha's claim in Bukhari, he said, Allah hasn't restricted you to only her. You can marry another woman. So what? What's the big deal? But I recommend you ask her servant Burayra. Ayesha had a female servant maid called Burayra. Imam Ali told the Prophet, according to the version of Bukhari, ask Burayra. She's a truthful lady. She'll tell you whether Ayesha is innocent or not. The Prophet asked Burayra. Burayra said, yeah, Ayesha is innocent. Later, the Prophet tells Ayesha, look, if you're innocent, Allah is going to vindicate you. And if you sinned, meaning you committed the adultery, God will forgive you if you really seek His forgiveness. Then Ayesha said, finally, the relief came when Allah revealed this verse in Surah An-Nur, declaring that I am innocent. This is the mainstream version, according to Sunni sources, in Bukhari specifically. Today, Ahl Sunnah, they have made a huge virtue for Ayesha from this story. See how Allah came to her defense? She's such a great wife of the Prophet. Min fawqi sab'i samawat, above the 7 heavens, God vindicated her. So they consider this as a huge virtue for Ayesha. Quick observations. The story that Bukhari narrates, does it hold logically, academically, or no? Number one, if you go by Bukhari's version indicates the Prophet actually doubted what she did. And she said, for a whole month he was dry with me. He didn't know, should he divorce me, should he not? Did I do it, did I not? Am I innocent, am I not? Is the rumor possible or not? He even changed the way he dealt with Ayesha, and he even ignored her. Why is this problematic? You could say, well, the Prophet is a human, he can doubt her. Well, look at verse 12 of Surah An-Nur. لولا إذ سمعتموه ظن المؤمنون والمؤمنات بأنفسهم خيرا وقالوا هذا إفك مبين. The Quran rebukes even the believers that when you hear this rumor, how is it that you can accept this rumor? It's not possible. Quran rebukes the believers for being suspicious of that accused lady. How can the Prophet be suspicious when the Quran is rebuking the believers? Is it possible that the Quran rebukes the believers of something that their own Prophet did? That's a contradiction. So Bukhari's version, the way Ayesha narrates it, cannot stand, cannot be possible. Because it clearly states the Prophet actually doubted what happened. And he gave the possibility that it did happen. And the Quran condemned those people who had suspicions. And it's not possible for the Quran to condemn the Prophet. Impossible. Okay, that's the first objection. The second objection, according to Surah An-Nur, in the following verses, look at that same chapter after verses 11, the Quran tells us the punishment for qadhf. What's qadhf in Islamic law? When you accuse a person of adultery, that's called qadhf. The Quran says if you accuse someone of adultery and you can't bring 4 just witnesses who saw the act, you get lashed 80 times. If we go by Ayesha's version, how come the Prophet didn't lash anybody? Didn't flog anyone? Didn't punish anyone? Why is he not following the instructions of the Quran? It's an objection. Number 3, why did the Prophet consult Osama ibn Zayd or Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam? He should know what to do in this situation. He's a prophet of God. He knows best. His wife has been accused. He knows what to do. Why do you go to Osama ibn Zayd and consult him? Should I divorce her? Should I not? He looks like confused. He doesn't know what to do. That's not right. That's not a prophet of God. In such a sensitive matter, he should know what to do. So when you put all these pieces together, it just does not hold. The story that Ayesha tells us just simply does not hold. For a month, she says, he ignored me. He really entertained the idea that I may have committed that indecency. And I was so depressed and I was so sad. I went to my parents' house and, the Prophet would not do that. It's impossible. Secondly, assuming all of this is correct, why is that a virtue for Ayesha? If someone who's not on the right path is accused of something that didn't happen, and Allah says, no, that's an accusation, does that mean that this person's good? How does that follow? How does it follow that she is the best wife of the Prophet, that she must be followed? How are you making that connection? Right now, if there is a mischievous person in the community, but the person is wrongly accused, and then I come and I say, look, you people, this accusation is wrong. The person did not do that. Does that mean I'm saying this person is a good person? No. I'm just negating the accusation. Now you can say, well, why did God so strongly come in negating this accusation? Look, she's the wife of the Prophet. This is the Prophet's honor. Allah has to come and defend the Prophet's honor. It's not because she's a good lady. It's because the Prophet's honor is being discussed now. People are talking in the city that his wife committed adultery. It's big, it's huge, especially in those societies. Allah has to come in the Quran and say, no, nothing like that happened. Does it mean that that particular wife is a virtuous wife? Not necessarily. How are you making that that connection here? And remember, we mentioned other points when we talked about Maria. That another possible explanation is that these verses were about Maria, the wife of the Prophet. When she was accused, we talked about that before. And one of the pieces of evidence that we gave is that one was Surah An-Nur revealed. According to many historians, one was Surah An-Nur revealed that talks about this whole accusation. Year 8 of the Hijrah. When did the supposed story of Ayesha and the Ifk happen? Year 5 of the Hijrah. God's going to wait 3 years in the Quran to come and vindicate Ayesha from that indecency. See, the chronology of events and the time of revelation is in sync with the time Maria was accused, which is basically year 8. Not the year where Ayesha was accused. So these verses are more applicable to Maria than they are applicable to Ayesha. In any case, it's not really clear what the circumstances of these verses are. Exactly what happened. Honestly, scholars say it's not that clear. But we know Bukhari's version that makes it such a big virtue for Ayesha is not a correct version. Because it accuses the Prophet of doubting Ayesha, that she really did commit adultery. How is the Prophet of God going to doubt her? And Allah keeps him waiting for a whole month? Would you do that to your Prophet? His wife is accused and you keep him hanging for 30 days with all these rumors? Very, very unlikely. What are your thoughts about this?
Okay, so the Shia school of thought, do we believe this is
The Shia scholars are split. Some of them believe, yes, these verses were revealed after Ayesha was accused. However, in no way does the Quran say that she's a good woman that needs to be followed. These are two things. A number of Shia scholars, upon closely examining Bukhari's version, they're like, look, there's something doesn't add up. She's narrating it in the first person. She's trying to make this a big virtue for her. And Bukhari's version has all these problems riddled in it. So we don't know exactly what happened. Was it Ayesha the way she narrates it? Was it Maria? Was it something else? We don't really know. But we will not accept Bukhari's version. Because Bukhari's version has all these issues. It shows the Prophet doubting his wife. It shows the Prophet confused. He has to consult Osama ibn Zayd. It's just a problematic narration in Bukhari that we cannot accept.
that Shia believe that?
One small point to mention here. No Shias have ever stated that while the Prophet was alive, Ayesha ever committed any act of indecency. You know, this is negated by all scholars. What you have heard is some Shia, and I'll openly say this because this is not something that we can deny. There are some, the vast majority of scholars and pretty much almost all maraja, they don't accept that Ayesha did any indecency of this sort, even after the Prophet. But some believe, according to the historical reports that they've seen, that after the Prophet passed away, there are some references of Ayesha marrying Talha. Now, according to the Quran, the wives of the Prophet don't have the right to marry after the Prophet. So that's the indecency she committed. She entered a marital relationship that's not valid, so basically it was considered immoral. That is what some have said. Not all, some have said that. Otherwise, during the Prophet's life, no, of course, no one accepts that. So that's just to shed light on this whole discussion. So when you hear some of these, ignorant people coming publicly and saying, Ayesha did this, they mean after the Prophet. Because she had no right to marry anyone. Nobody means it during the Prophet's life.